सही कहा, जैसा कि मैंने बताया कि पुष्पक एक्सप्रेस जो लखनऊ से मुंबई जा रही थी, वो भुसावल और मंडवान के बीच, जो भुसावल रेलवे डिवीजन है वहां पर माहे एक जगह है, वहां पर वो रुकी क्योंकि उसका हॉट एक्सल की खबर आई, मतलब धुआं उठा और आग की खबर आई। तो वो रेल यात्री जो है सो ऑन ट्रैक पे आ गए कि उन्हें खबर लगी कि गाड़ी पुष्पक एक्सप्रेस में आग लग गई। वहीं उसी दौरान कर्नाटक एक्सप्रेस जो बेंगलुरु से नई दिल्ली आ रही थी और अचानक उस ट्रैक से क्रॉस होती है और कई लोग उसकी चपेट में आ गए। कि खबर यह है कि करीब 20 लोगों की शायद मौत हो गई है, लेकिन अभी एग्जैक्ट क्या डेटा है, क्या फिगर है, ये अभी आधिकारिक तौर पर या कोई भी ऑफिशियल रेलवे की ओर से नहीं बताया गया है। और सभी लोगों को पास के अस्पताल में भी घायलों को पहुंचाया जा रहा है।
I'm going to once again, Manohar, stay on with me. I'm going to once again just put out that information. This is the latest we are getting. These are sketchy details right now. As there is more information that is going to pour in, we'll keep you updated. There is a train mishap that has taken place. This incident has taken place in Jalgaon in Maharashtra. We are understanding that the train caught fire. Whether it was set on fire or it caught fire for some reason or the other, and the rumors spread across all bogies that the train had been set on fire. Their passengers who were worried, who were anxious, they were fearful, and therefore they jumped off the train that they were traveling in. And in the meantime, there was another train that was on the tracks coming from the opposite side, and unfortunately that led to the death of the passengers. It just ran down these passengers. There have been some gruesome images, videos that are circulating. There are body parts strewn on the railway track, images, the gory images over there. Unfortunate incident that has taken place. Manohar, कुछ पता चल रहा है ये कौन से रेलवे ट्रैक में, जलगांव में कहां पर ये एक्सीडेंट हुआ है? कौन सी पैसेंजर ट्रेन थी जिसमें ये इंसिडेंट हुआ है?
देखिए, बिल्कुल ये मैं अपने व्यूअर्स को अगर बताऊं तो पुष्पक एक्सप्रेस जो है वो माही एक जगह है जो भुसावल रेल डिवीजन में पड़ता है। मीन्स भुसावल से मंडवान के बीच में ये हादसा हुआ है। और रेलवे अधिकारी के मुताबिक जो पुष्पक एक्सप्रेस ट्रेन है वो लखनऊ से मुंबई जा रही थी और उसी दौरान जो है उसके एक्सल गर्म हो गया। उसके बाद आग की अफवाहें फैली और सारे पैसेंजर्स जो है सो ऑन ट्रैक आ गए और कई लोग कूद गए। उसके बाद उसी दौरान कर्नाटक एक्सप्रेस जो बेंगलुरु से मुंबई की नई दिल्ली की ओर आ रही थी और उसी ट्रैक पे जहां पर पुष्पक एक्सप्रेस खड़ी थी भुसावल रेल डिवीजन के पास, माहे जो जगह है वहां की घटना है। वहां पर जो है सो कर्नाटक एक्सप्रेस उन तमाम रेल यात्रियों को, रेल पैसेंजर्स को जो है रौंदते हुए निकल गई।
मेरे साथ बने रहिए मनोहर। These are the first visuals that we are getting of this train mishap that has taken place in Jalgaon. We take a look at these visuals. There are dozens of people, dozens of passengers who are standing nearby the train. The train had to be halted for obvious reasons. There have been a number of people who have died in this incident. We do not know how many fatalities have been reported up until now, but the latest we are getting to know is that there may be more people that may have died in this incident because of this gruesome accident that has taken place. If we can put out those visuals on our screens where this is in the middle of nowhere, that we are witnessing this accident taking place in Jalgaon. We are getting to know that the passengers of Pushpak Express were hit by Karnataka Express train in Jalgaon district. The railway officials and other staff have now reached the spot. We are awaiting more details. So there were two trains that clashed each other. The first train, which was the Pushpak Express, is where the bogie caught fire. The passengers jumped out in fear, and the second train then hit the passengers. It run over them, killing several of them. This incident has taken place in Jalgaon. We are getting to know that the railway officials and other staff members have already arrived on the spot. मनोहर ऑन द टेलीकास्ट विद मी। मनोहर, यहाँ पे पता चल रहा है कि जो ये पुष्पक एक्सप्रेस जैसे कि आप बता रहे थे, इसका क्लैश हुआ है कर्नाटका एक्सप्रेस से। कर्नाटका एक्सप्रेस और पुष्पक एक्सप्रेस के बीच में ये कोलिजन हुआ है और इस कोलिजन के बीच काफी सारे पैसेंजर्स मारे गए हैं।
अभी तक कोलिजन की खबर नहीं है कि पुष्पक एक्सप्रेस और कर्नाटक एक्सप्रेस इन दोनों में कोलिजन हुई है, लेकिन जो रेलवे अधिकारी की ओर से जो ऑफिशियल बताई जा रही है चीजें कि पुष्पक एक्सप्रेस हॉट एक्सल की वजह से खड़ी थी, आग की अफवाहें हुई तो पैसेंजर्स ट्रैक पे कूद गए, सभी लोग ट्रैक पे आ गए। उसी दौरान कर्नाटक एक्सप्रेस जो बेंगलुरु से चल करके नई दिल्ली की ओर आ रही थी, उसी से ट्रैक पे जो है वो अचानक रौंदते हुए निकल गई और इसकी वजह से कई लोग चपेट में आए हैं और कई लोगों को गंभीर चोटें भी आई है। जी,
all right, those are right now sketchy details. Sanjay on the telecast with me. Sanjay, shed more light. There are we were understanding as per the latest reports that there were rumors that were spread that the train caught fire. Now, did the train actually catch fire or was it just rumor mongering that led to the death of these passengers?
देखिए, महाराष्ट्र के जलगांव से जब पुष्पक एक्सप्रेस ट्रेन जब गुजर रही थी तो वहां पर आग लगने की अफवाह तेजी से चली। उसके बाद में ट्रेन से घबराए हुए यात्री एक के बाद एक कूदते गए और लगभग 20 यात्रियों की मौत हो चुकी है। जो यात्री जो इस ट्रेन से पुष्पक एक्सप्रेस से कूदे थे, लेकिन दूसरी ट्रेन की चपेट में आ गई है। जो दूसरी ट्रैक पर जो ट्रेन जा रही थी, उस ट्रेन की चपेट में आने के कारण लगभग 20 यात्रियों की मौत की खबर मिल रही है और अभी भी हादसे में कई लोग घायल बताए जा रहे हैं। अभी भी विस्तृत रूप से पूरा समाचार आना बाकी है, लेकिन इतना जरूर है कि पुष्पक एक्सप्रेस में आग की अफवाह ऐसी फैली थी कि लोग पैनिक में आकर के एक के बाद एक नीचे कूदने लगे और कूदते समय उन्होंने ये भी नहीं देखा कि दूसरे ट्रैक पर एक ट्रेन तेजी से उनकी तरफ चली आ रही है, तो लोग उस ट्रेन की चपेट में आ गए। कई लोगों की मौत हो गई है, 20 से ज्यादा लोगों की मौत की खबर है। जलगांव के परांडा के पास ये हादसा हुआ है और अभी भी वहां पर रेलवे के ऑफिसर जो हैं वहां पर पहुंच रहे हैं और वहां पर स्थिति का जायजा ले रहे हैं। जितने भी घायल पीड़ित हैं उनको अस्पताल पहुंचाया जाएगा, लेकिन अभी भी वहां पर स्थिति का नियंत्रण में लाने का इंतजार है। देखना होगा कि पुष्पक एक्सप्रेस में और कितने यात्री कुल घायल हुए हैं।
Okay, we're getting to know that the number of people who have died is about 8. क्या इसके बारे में हमें जानकारी बताइए, अभी क्या रिपोर्ट आ रही है, कितने लोगों की मौत हो चुकी है? Okay, we're getting to know that there are 8 people who have died in this train accident. We're still yet to know whether there was a collision between the two trains, Karnataka Express and Pushpak Express, but we were getting to know that there was rumors that were being spread that the train has caught fire that caused the passengers to be fearful. In fear, they decided to jump out of the train, and then they were quashed by the second train, Karnataka Express, that they just run over these passengers. We are yet to ascertain if there actually was a fire in one of the bogies of the train. संजय बैक ऑन द टेलीकास्ट विद मी। संजय, हमें खबर चल रही है पता कि 8 लोग इस एक्सीडेंट में मर चुके हैं, कितने लोग और घायल हैं?
देखिए, ये ट्रेन लखनऊ से मुंबई की ओर जा रही थी, पुष्पक एक्सप्रेस। ये काफी सुपरफास्ट ट्रेनों में इसकी गिनती होती है और इस ट्रेन में जैसे ही आग लगने की खबर हुई, पैनिक हुए यात्री एक के बाद एक नीचे कूदते गए और लगभग 40 से 50 यात्री नीचे कूदे, जिनमें से 20 लोगों के मौत की पुष्टि की जा रही है। अभी भी घायलों की संख्या के बारे में कुल आंकड़ा अभी तक आया नहीं है कि कितने लोग कुल घायल हुए, लेकिन लगभग 40 से 50 लोग ट्रेन से कूदे थे और इसमें से 20 लोगों की मौत हो चुकी है, मौत की पुष्टि हो चुकी है, क्योंकि वो दूसरे ट्रैक पर वहां पर कूदे थे जहां से कि दूसरी ट्रेन काफी तेज रफ्तार से आ रही थी। उस ट्रेन की चपेट में आने के कारण लोगों की मौत हुई है। तो ये हादसा हुआ जलगांव में हुआ है, महाराष्ट्र के जलगांव में हादसा हुआ है। वहां पर रेलवे के अधिकारी पहुंचना शुरू हो चुके हैं। देखना होगा कि वहां पर कितने लोग और घायल हुए हैं, क्योंकि उन सभी घायलों को वहां पर उनको चिकित्सा भी प्रोवाइड करनी पड़ेगी। देखना होगा कितने लोग यहाँ पर जख्मी हुए हैं, अभी तक 20 लोगों की मौत की पुष्टि हो चुकी है।
Okay, all right. Those are the latest updates that we are getting. There are at least 8 people who have died. Sanjay, stay on with me. We're getting to know that there was a rumor that was spread that a bogie in the train had caught fire that caused the mayhem within the train bogies. There were people, passengers who were scared that they might die in the train fire, and they decided to jump. And at the very moment, unfortunately, there was another train that was passing from the opposite side. It ran over them and 8 people died. There are several others injured. There may be fears that there could be more casualties in this unfortunate incident taking place in Jalgaon in Maharashtra. There are officials that have already arrived at the accident site, is what we are getting to know. Those are first visuals on your screens. We have had to blur them because there are these severed body parts that are strewn all around and on the tracks where the train mishap took place. We're getting to know that 8 people have died in this gruesome, unfortunate accident. I slip into a short break. Thanks for watching NewsX. We'll keep getting you more updates as there are developments on the story. Thanks.
ਸਰਕਾਰੀ ਸਕੂਲਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸ਼ਾਨਦਾਰ ਬੱਸਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੇਵਾਂਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਬੱਸਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਜਾ ਸਕਣ, ਘਰੇ ਵੀ ਪਹੁੰਚਾ ਸਕਣ।
In the state of Punjab, under the dynamic leadership of Chief Minister Bhagwant Singh Mann, government schools are being transformed with modern facilities and free quality education. Taking another bold step, the Bhagwant Mann government is now providing new school buses for students.
GPS ਲੱਗਿਆ ਹੋਊਗਾ, ਮਾਪਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੋਬਾਈਲ ਤੋਂ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਊਗਾ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਵਾਲੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬੱਸ ਆ ਉਹ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਗਈ ਤੇ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਿਕ ਕਰਨਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਲੇਟੈਸਟ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ ਲੱਗੀ ਹੋਊਗੀ।
In the first batch, these buses will benefit over 20,000 students, ensuring safe and comfortable commutes. This is not just transportation, this is a promise of progress and opportunity for every child. This is the spirit of a new Punjab, a Punjab where education drives a brighter tomorrow.
ਪਹਿਲੇ ਬੈਚ ਵਾਸਤੇ 20,000 ਬੱਚੇ ਦਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਪ੍ਰਬੰਧ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸੋ ਜੇ ਨੀਅਤ ਸਾਫ਼ ਹੋਵੇ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਤਾਂ ਤਰੀਕਾ ਨਿਕਲੇ ਆਉਂਦਾ।
This is New Punjab, this is Rangla Punjab.
From the banks of the holy Ganga, where millions gather in devotion. A spectacle of spirituality.
उत्तर प्रदेश के लोगों की सुरक्षा, उनके भरोसे और कानून व्यवस्था को बेहतर बनाने की सेवा में सतत लगे पुलिस कर्मियों के लिए योगी सरकार हर कदम पर मदद को तैयार है। उत्तर प्रदेश की योगी सरकार न सिर्फ देश पर मर मिटने वाले शहीदों का सम्मान करती है, बल्कि सेवारत पुलिस कर्मियों का भी खास ख्याल रखती है।
मृतक पुलिस कार्मिकों के आश्रितों की सहायता के लिए 9 करोड़ 8 लाख रुपए।
पुलिस स्मृति कार्यक्रम 2024 में मुख्यमंत्री योगी आदित्यनाथ ने यूपी पुलिस के लिए कई बड़ी घोषणाएं की। सभी जिलों के पुलिस कर्मियों की सुख सुविधा के लिए 3.5 करोड़ रुपए, सेवारत रिटायर पुलिस कर्मियों, उनके आश्रितों के मेडिकल प्रतिपूर्ति का निस्तारण, 266 मामले के निस्तारण के लिए 30,56,000 रुपए, शहीदों को श्रद्धांजलि, आश्रितों को राहत का ऐलान। यूपी के 115 शहीदों के आश्रितों को 36 करोड़ 20 लाख रुपए की आर्थिक मदद। योगी सरकार शहीदों के आश्रितों को आर्थिक मदद के साथ ही शहीद परिवारों के बच्चों की शिक्षा का जिम्मा भी उठाती है। सम्मानपूर्वक जीवन यापन के लिए शहीद परिवार के एक सदस्य को सरकारी नौकरी भी देती है यूपी सरकार।
Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX and I'm Megha Sharma. The Badal village in Jammu has been declared a containment zone after 17 people, including 14 children from 3 families, died mysteriously. Chief Minister Omar Abdullah has visited the Badal village and assured people that a probe is now underway. Investigations have ruled out any communicable disease of bacterial or viral origin, indicating there was no public threat. Now, the central government's interministerial team had also visited the site and the samples have been sent to the National Institute of Virology. preliminary probe has revealed that there was a presence of neurotoxins and the patients too had damage to the nervous system that caused brain swelling. Now, this is an unfortunate incident that has taken place. It is shocking, and it is these mysterious deaths. 2 days ago, this news surfaced. After 2 days, 48 hours, the government has made it a containment zone. What are the next steps that are going to have to be taken by the health ministry, by the health department over there? And let's try to understand what is happening. Ajay Jandyal on the telecast with me. Ajay, what's the latest update that we are getting from the ground?
See, Mega, what we have seen that in last more than 40 days, 17 people have lost their life, and after 17 deaths, there was no patient in that hospital. But unfortunately, at that time when 17th death took place, some locals, family members, and even administration were saying that thank God there is no patient in the hospital, and those who were ill, no doubt that they have died, they have lost their life, but they were, feeling a little better. But after, yesterday, this one of a case came in the Rajouri hospital when one, 25-year-old boy, he went ill with the same symptoms of, vomiting, temperature, fever, high fever, and headache. He was admitted in the Rajouri hospital, and government they did not want to take any chance, and that's why they have shifted him to the PGI Chandigarh. But today, once again, 3 more, kids, they went, they felt ill, and they are admitted in the government medical college, Rajouri. So that is a major, challenge for the authorities over here, that how things are taking place, why people are, that they went ill and then they died after getting unconscious. So these are the challenges. Health department says there is no disease. Only what they have found in, all the deaths what took place there in the Rajouri and the Jammu hospital, that was the neurotoxins which were present in the mind, which basically made them, unconscious, or we can say that they have lost their life due to that. The police is also investigating this matter, but till now there is nothing in their hand, and but they are just trying their best to provide them best possible treatment. The houses where this deaths took place, that houses and the village, that is under containment now. Water source which was there, Bawli, that is under containment. No one is allowed to meet these people and families, so that anyone else from other side, if there is any infection or something, they will not, get infected in that area.
Okay, stay on with me, Ajay. I'm also being joined by Dr. P.S.V. Rao. Thank you very much, sir. And could you please explain it to us, because as per the preliminary probe, which has revealed that there could be presence of neurotoxins and that damaged the nervous system of the patients, that caused the death because of brain swelling.
Good evening, Megha. Seems to be a lot of bad news coming, first from the trains and then here from the Jammu Kashmir. Yeah. My condolences to the people affected. See, as far as is it a neurotoxin or what, the likelihood of in a particular geographical area, many people dying, not of infectious diseases, but of toxicity, could be either airborne, waterborne, or foodborne. Food, when you have a function or something where there is the food has got some toxin, it may be insecticide, pesticide, or contaminated food, you can have all the people in that area affected. Same way with water contamination, things can cause that. And air, toxic gases like carbon monoxide, ammonia, hydrogen sulfide, chlorine, and such gases, which can sometimes be released by natural causes rather than someone actually doing that, or it coming from a industry like it happened in Bhopal with cyanide gas, or with any other particular industrial or other processes. Now, these what they have till now ruled out are infectious causes for any of these deaths, and they are suspecting neurotoxic. When you say neurotoxic, it means that the the toxic substance that they have found, they are saying in the water, they were affected the neural system. The nervous system is affected by neurotoxic chemicals, will cause can cause you to lose consciousness, can cause you to your heart to stop beating, your or you to stop breathing air, because all these are controlled by our nervous system, the breathing, the heart beating, and various brain functions.
Right.
So this can cause. Now exactly what toxin it is will only come after they do their toxicology test to find out which insecticide or what was actually likely to have contaminated it, or it is from some natural cause there. Some of the toxins that can be released in nature, which I mentioned, some of the gases which I mentioned, it can get dissolved in water, or there are other toxins like arsenic, etc. But some of the natural causes of water toxins are not something which will immediately cause death. It is over a period of time.
Okay. All right. So
thank
yeah.
you.
So it seems as if it is almost immediate. In the next in the last, I don't know. It looks like, I mean, for how many days did they continue to consume that water, which was contaminated? It entered into their bloodstream, and after that, these neurotoxins is what is at this point of time being reported as the cause for brain swelling and the eventual death of these people. I have with me Syed Shuja Qadri. He is the HOD, Community Medicine and Public Health Specialist and Epidemiologist. He is joining me from Rajouri in Jammu and Kashmir. Mr. Qadri, what's happening on the ground? Has there been more information that has been revealed? Also, why has it taken the administration 2 long days, 48 hours to declare the area to be a contamination zone?
Good evening, everybody. First and foremost, thanks for inviting me. I am investigating this incident since the very beginning of the incident. So first, let me clarify. Earlier, when it started, the whole event started from the first week of December. And earlier, when the first family was affected, it was a cluster of cases which came at one point in time. At that time, we thought of maybe because they had just had a feast one day back, so we attributed all these events to the typical outbreak of a food poisoning. At that point in time, we just our preliminary investigation, we concluded that it is a feast which was taken by all the family members, and after the feast, within 24 hours, all the family members, they developed symptom, and at that point in time, we thought is either it is a food poisoning. That was our focus. After that, over a period of some days, again the second family was affected, the second family. So then we thought, no, it cannot be food poisoning, because the second family, which was not related with the eating of food and all. Then we broadened our epidemiological investigation. We took the samples, the food samples, the water samples. We did the autopsy of the deceased. And then we broadened our spectrum to see any bacteriological, viral, any zoonotic disease, or any other kind of disease which can be. Then we sent all our samples to the national labs like NIV Pune, PGI Chandigarh. And as far as the reports which were available with us at that point in time, the viral etiology was excluded, the bacterial etiology was excluded, the zoonotic part was excluded, everything was excluded which are commonly causing these outbreaks. Then our focus shifted to toxins as of now. And when we see the clinical picture of these patients, of these cases or deaths who had occurred over a period of time, they all started with the mild GI symptoms like mild fever, vomiting, abdominal pain, and then suddenly within a period of hours, the symptoms deteriorated and they started with weakness, altered sensorium, collapse, and death. And once it was established by our preliminary epidemiological investigation that it can be a neurotoxin because other parameters we have excluded. So then we started searching for a neurotoxin, and the neurotoxin which is preferably causing acute encephalitis or acute encephalitic syndrome among these cases, and these deaths which we observed. And now the district administration, in order not to have any more deaths, because already 17 people have lost their lives, so in order to avoid any deaths more, the district administration, they have enforced these restrictions.
Okay. I also have with me Dr. Rahul Bhargav, Principal Director and Chief Hematology on the telecast with me. Dr. Bhargav, is this enough right now to make the region in Rajouri a containment zone? Could there also be a possibility that more deaths and illnesses could be anticipated? Because as Dr. Syed Shuja Qadri is saying that the first case was reported in the first week of December, and it seems like the patients' health had deteriorated in a span of just about a month. That has led to these 17 deaths 2 days ago. Could there be more people affected by it?
Thanks for having me there. But at the same time, the district administration as well as the medical system has done their job pretty remarkably well. Within knowing this small span of time, they have been able to rule out many things, but at the same time, the autopsy will keep on throwing lights onto this. But we have to understand, if this first was in December and now it is in mid of January or end of January, so it cannot be a viral infection in isolation, and it is not very fast spreading. So it does not mean, we know that 17 people have lost their lives and our sympathies are with them. But at the same time, what it continues to show to us, it points us to the direction where the water where has been found to be insecticide and pesticides, which we know can also have an organophosphorus kind of a poisoning or a heavy metal poisoning, which has led to this. In these parts of Badwal region, the temperatures have really plummeted, and they tend to use more of CBD and other things to keep them some warm. But in the closed doors, the carbon monoxide poisoning could have also been the reason. But at the same time, the airborne toxins doesn't seems to happen this, because people are now well aware of the facts. So all this is pointing it towards either a viral infection, which we will come to know soon, because we have seen in various parts of the India like Kerala and up north, these outbreaks tends to come and comes in clusters and then they die down. But we need to have the sequencing done. Until now, there is no pointer towards that, because all the samples for virus and the bacteria has come negative. But starting from the GI, it means whatever we are consuming, it means either it is in the food or is in the water, and the district administration has done a remarkable job in isolating and announcing the emergency in this level.
Okay.
So I think
all right. I also have with me Brigadier Rajan Jambal, defense expert. Brigadier Jambal, what do you make of this, shocking incident that has taken place? It's unfortunate. 17 people have died. Do you think it has taken the government far too long to make this zone a containment area?
Look, I am not a doctor, so I am not getting too much into the technical part. But yeah, I do remember from my chemical warfare classes that I attended about 30 years back. I mean, at the very outset, it looked like the nerve agent. I mean, that's how we classified. And if I remember, 30 years back, nerve agents are generally phosphate-based, this thing. And there are antidotes for all this thing. What surprises me is the way we work, we rule out one, we rule out second. I mean, today in this same thing, if it had happened in Europe and US, I don't think so. It would have taken 40 days, and the way we work, okay, this will not happen, this will not happen, this didn't happen, let us move to the next, let us move to the next. I mean, we don't have laboratories, where you can just diagnose what is wrong. And I mean, I don't know if something close to a nerve agent, even a fertilizer which was phosphate-based, which will have almost the same, symptoms. It will have the same symptoms. They could have consulted somebody who's a chemical warfare agent and a whole lot of that.
Yeah, because right now there is right now we're getting to know that the Jammu and Kashmir police has also constituted a special investigation team to probe into the matter and if there was a criminal conspiracy angle to this.
So exactly, that is what I'm saying. I mean, they could have done it other things. Secondly, it tells you know about the public health infrastructure in a rural areas, the drinking water supplies, this thing, how they are managed. I mean, all these things there is these kind of incidents do bring out. People are still surviving on the local springs. Nothing. I mean, the whole thing has not been organized. This thing, the water supply systems and all in these areas. And in fact, that's most of the remote areas. People are on their own for these basic things. So this is a kind of reminder I look at it. I mean, we need to upgrade our complete system. I need to upgrade our approach itself.
Okay, I'm coming back to Dr. PSV Rao. Dr. Rao, we're getting to know that these 17 people who died because of this mysterious illness is just contained to the 3 families. There were 3 families consisting of these 17 people who have died in these mysterious circumstances. There is a criminal probe that has also been initiated at this point of time. Could this be, as Brigadier Jamwal is saying, potentially an incident of criminal warfare, chemical warfare that is taking place?
It is very difficult to say that, considering that this is over a period of time. I mean, if you were having some kind of a chemical warfare going on and a chemical had been released in that area, unless you release specifically family by family, is going to be very difficult. And same thing I would say of infective diseases or a biowarfare agent, it is not going to be very specific to a particular family. What can be specific to each of 3 or more families is the fact that they are all in that same geographical area and share the same water supply. Or if some ingredient for food, I mean, if there had been a food supply. Now, the Dr. Syed mentioned that initially it was just one family and they had participated in a feast. Was someone distributing free food packages had specifically targeted some of these families? Yes, then it is possible that it was a criminal act. But if these 3 and Dr. Syed also mentioned that 2 of the families were totally unconnected. They had no connection with each other.
Yeah.
So it is.
But also we get to know, were they living close by? Why is it that there are only these small cluster of 3 families that were impacted by it? There are 17 members of these families died, which maybe we can rule out that there was contamination in the water, maybe rule out contamination in the food that they were consuming. Syed Qadri, what do you have to say? Are we getting to understand? Is there any information available whether these families were living next to each other?
Actually, they are not living next to each other. The distance between all the 3 clusters of cases is around 1 or 2 kilometers. The distance between if we see the incidents in the 3 houses, they are not adjacent to each other. They are 1 or 2 kilometers apart from each other. So the other thing which
how is it that these family members of these 3 families were the only ones that were impacted? That's the question that arises.
Yes. So what is our preliminary at the grassroots level? What we concluded that based on the predominance of the neurological features in the symptomatology of the patients. One thing here we have to understand, even though they are the 3 different, we can label them as 3 different incidents, but the symptomatology, the symptoms, the course of illness is somewhat similar among all the 16, 17 people who have died. And the other thing is that based on our preliminary epidemiological diagnosis, we have diagnosed probably a neurotoxin which is primarily of food origin. which is affecting the brain and causing somewhat kind of acute encephalitis syndrome. And especially it is affecting the younger children and the elderly with immunocompromised health status.
Okay.
So as we know, toxin maybe it is a preliminary investigation for us because I am the first investigating officer.
Okay. Okay.
Toxin may be apparent.
Right, absolutely. Okay, thank you very much, Syed Qadri, for giving us that information. Again, the question arises is how did these toxins enter into the bloodstreams of these 17 people? Only 3 families whose members died of this mysterious illness or mysterious circumstance. Questions are galore. We do not have the answers. We will be able to know that as there are going to be days that are going to be passed. Days are going to pass. There is a SIT probe that at this point of time has been initiated. There are more people who are at this point of time at the hospitals and facing similar symptoms. Sweating, fever, vomiting. All these symptoms have been reported by some of these people within that containment zone who had been the target of this mysterious disease. On that note, I'm out of time. I thank you all for joining me on the telecast.
ਸਰਕਾਰੀ ਸਕੂਲਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸ਼ਾਨਦਾਰ ਬੱਸਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੇਵਾਂਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਬੱਸਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਜਾ ਸਕਣ, ਘਰੇ ਵੀ ਪਹੁੰਚਾ ਸਕਣ।
In the state of Punjab, under the dynamic leadership of Chief Minister Bhagwant Singh Mann, government schools are being transformed with modern facilities and free quality education. Taking another bold step, the Bhagwant Mann government is now providing new school buses for students.
GPS ਲੱਗਿਆ ਹੋਊਗਾ, ਮਾਪਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੋਬਾਈਲ ਤੋਂ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਊਗਾ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਵਾਲੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬੱਸ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਗਈ ਤੇ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਿਕ ਕਰਨਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਲੇਟੈਸਟ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ ਲੱਗੀ ਹੋਊਗੀ।
In the first batch, these buses will benefit over 20,000 students, ensuring safe and comfortable commutes. This is not just transportation, this is a promise of progress and opportunity for every child. This is the spirit of a new Punjab, a Punjab where education drives a brighter tomorrow.
ਪਹਿਲੇ ਬੈਚ ਵਾਸਤੇ 20,000 ਬੱਚੇ ਦਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਪ੍ਰਬੰਧ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸੋ ਜੇ ਨੀਅਤ ਸਾਫ਼ ਹੋਵੇ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਤਾਂ ਤਰੀਕਾ ਨਿਕਲੇ ਆਉਂਦਾ।
This is New Punjab, this is Rangla Punjab.
अगर आप बनना चाहते हैं एंकर या फिर आप में है जुनून एक तेज तर्रार न्यूज रिपोर्टर बनने का, तो आप ज्वाइन करें ITV इंडिया न्यूज और NewsX का मीडिया स्कूल। ITV नेक्स्ट मीडिया इंटरनेशनल स्कूल का कोर्स आपको मौका देता है देश के दिग्गज एंकर्स के साथ काम करने का। ITV नेक्स्ट मीडिया इंटरनेशनल स्कूल में आप बेहद नजदीक से देख पाएंगे किस तरह से ITV नेटवर्क के दिग्गज पत्रकारों की टीम दिन रात खबरों पर काम करती है। इस कोर्स के दौरान आप सीखेंगे एंकरिंग की एक एक बारीकी उन एंकर्स के साथ जो देश को रखते हैं हर खबर से बाखबर। ITV नेक्स्ट मीडिया इंटरनेशनल स्कूल का ये कोर्स आपके एंकरिंग स्किल्स को करेगा इतना सशक्त मजबूत जिससे आप बनेंगे वो चेहरा जो दुनिया देखेगी और पसंद करेगी।
करे सो आज कर रिटायरमेंट अपनी प्लान कर, NPS में इन्वेस्ट कर, छोटे छोटे इन्वेस्टमेंट से कर तू शुरुआत, बड़े कॉर्पस अमाउंट की मिलेगी सौगात।
हाँ कल भी रहे आज के ठाट, पाओ पेंशन 70 हो या 60, चलती रहे लाइफ की पारी NPS जरूरी है, हाँ करनी है तैयारी NPS जरूरी है।
From the banks of the holy Ganga, where millions gather in devotion. A spectacle of spirituality,
ਸਰਕਾਰੀ ਸਕੂਲਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸ਼ਾਨਦਾਰ ਬੱਸਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੇਵਾਂਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਬੱਸਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਜਾ ਸਕਣ, ਘਰੇ ਵੀ ਪਹੁੰਚਾ ਸਕਣ।
In the state of Punjab, under the dynamic leadership of Chief Minister Bhagwant Singh Mann, government schools are being transformed with modern facilities and free quality education. Taking another bold step, the Bhagwant Mann government is now providing new school buses for students.
GPS ਲੱਗਿਆ ਹੋਊਗਾ, ਮਾਪਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੋਬਾਈਲ ਤੋਂ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਊਗਾ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਵਾਲੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬੱਸ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਗਈ ਤੇ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਿਕ ਕਰਨਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਲੇਟੈਸਟ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ ਲੱਗੀ ਹੋਊਗੀ।
In the first batch, these buses will benefit over 20,000 students, ensuring safe and comfortable commutes. This is not just transportation, this is a promise of progress and opportunity for every child. This is the spirit of a new Punjab, a Punjab where education drives a brighter tomorrow.
ਪਹਿਲੇ ਬੈਚ ਵਾਸਤੇ 20,000 ਬੱਚੇ ਦਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਪ੍ਰਬੰਧ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸੋ ਜੇ ਨੀਅਤ ਸਾਫ਼ ਹੋਵੇ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਤਾਂ ਤਰੀਕਾ ਨਿਕਲੇ ਆਉਂਦਾ।
This is New Punjab, this is Rangla Punjab.
Hello and welcome. You are watching NewsX and I am Megha Sharma. Indicating the importance Washington pays to New Delhi as the new Trump administration takes office, the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio and the National Security Advisor Michael Waltz held their first bilateral and international meetings respectively with India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar. He also attended the maiden Quad ministerial of the new Donald Trump administration. Marco Rubio's decision to have his first bilateral with Dr. S. Jaishankar assumes significance given the first foreign outreach of any previous new US administration traditionally has been with its two neighbors, Canada and Mexico, or with one of its NATO allies. Now, soon after, Dr. Jaishankar held another top meeting with the new US National Security Advisor, Michael Waltz. This was the first international meeting since taking office earlier the same day. This comes after Dr. Jaishankar was seated at the first row and the first column as the US President Donald Trump delivered his inaugural address after his inauguration ceremony completed at the Capitol Rotunda in Washington, D.C. Let's start this conversation. What is it that it indicates? What is it going to be the significance when it comes to Trump and Modi 2.0 in the next 4 years? Ambassador Manju Seth on the telecast with me. Ambassador Seth, first of all, the fact that the first bilateral that America has chosen to do with the Secretary of State Rubio and the External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, what is the significance of it? What is the symbolism behind it?
I think it was, very clearly an indication of the importance that the Trump administration attaches to its ties with India and India's role in its strategic role in its strategic outlook, in the US's strategic outlook for the evolving global order. I think it's a very clear indication, as is the Quad meeting. The very first engagement was Quad, followed by the meeting with our minister. I think it's a very positive sign, significant sign. And it has, and the good thing is that they were able to discuss every possible agenda on the table that they had. Of issues of our concern would have been conveyed, issues of their concern, including illegal immigrants, etc. I'm sure was discussed. And of course, our defense ties, our security ties, and the ISET, the initiative on critical and emerging technologies. And I think every and of course the Indo-Pacific I'm sure China was also mentioned, though the ties between US and China are also important for the US, so they cannot completely sideline or ignore them. But yes, this is with India, it is a special trip, and it is a very significant indication of the importance that the US has attached to its partnership during this administration with India.
Right. Gautam Mukherjee, quickly coming to you about how the Trump-Modi diplomacy is going to pan out in the next 4 years. We have already had an example last time around in 2016 between both the leaders. There was Trump who was invited to India. There was Modi who was attending the Howdy Modi event, supporting in fact Trump for his campaign for the next election that took place. Of course, unfortunately, Trump lost it. But how do both the countries take their diplomacy and trade ties forward?
Well, from the American side, they've made a couple of gestures which are very encouraging. One is that External Affairs Minister Jaishankar was given a front row seat right next to the podium where Trump took his swearing in, and thereafter the first meeting that Rubio had one-on-one is with the Indian External Affairs Minister. India on its part is already contemplating how to address the balance of payments with America, which is currently in India's favor, by reducing tariffs on import of American goods. Now, if we get on with this kind of gesture before Trump gets around to putting tariffs on India, then obviously we are cooperating with his vision of putting America first, and we are not going to lose very much by importing a number and a wide variety of American goods. You know, in the course of our trade with them. Strategically, Quad is of course extremely important, and I think there will be further developments on the military front as we go along. I think there is already talk of a visit from Trump to India as early as April in 2025.
Right.
So things are getting off to a very good start.
Absolutely. Sumit, I'm going to come to you, and particularly, how do you think Trump is going to strike a fine balance between the outreach that America is making